Okay. So this quote is from book Shrinks by Jeffrey Lieberman. Every generation of psychiatrists believed that they had found the answer, and then science proved them wrong. Psychiatry progressed because it learned to question itself. No other branch, no other specialty has questioned itself as much as psychiatry has. So, um, one second, one second. Yeah, okay. So our OG shrinks is basically the layman's term for psychiatrists, and lot of people, I don't know, some psychiatrists feel it as an insult, but as in shrink के पास जा रहे हो, yeah, as if it's not a real science or anything. But I feel it's a fancy name. So anyway, the OG shrink was Freud. Freud was not a psychiatrist. He was a neurologist by profession, and later on, he by his invention, he became a psychoanalyst. But the era that Freud belonged in, that era was such that psychiatric patients were supposed, ek to psychiatry name was not there, but people used to say that whatever we cannot explain by physical problems, that is mental problem. And in the era Freud lived in, people were not at all able to talk about sexual intercourse, sexual talks, and about sexuality, let alone let leave homosexuality, about heterosexual relations and all. Also, people were not ready to talk. So Freud's basic theory was that people's repressed homosexual or sexual urges, libidinal urges, जो भी repressed as in जो उनके fantasies है, जो उनके urges है, but they are not, they haven't ever been spoken or haven't ever been expressed in any other way. Those manifest as psychiatric symptoms, and then uh, his all the theories, as in he would explain psychosis by it. He would explain dissociation or conversion reaction, what we say. He would explain everything by these repressed urges. So as psychiatry progressed, people started saying that Freud, everything about Freud was just um, this conflicts or repressed emotions. Some said that he used to smoke, and this is famous photo of Freud with smoke cigar in his. He used to be he used to consume cannabis regularly. So then people later said this all happened after death. No one could question Freud while he could know them. He would not listen rather. No, whoever you might have heard about neo-Freudians, whoever tried to challenge him got separated from the psychiatric society that time. That much how big his name was. But later, then people started saying he everything he related to one theory that is not Freud. So I added this slide specifically to know to tell that he was very much ahead of his time. Whatever he told is still relevant in modern psychiatry, and that is why I made this image that repressed emotions and conflicts is still the most accepted psychodynamic theory behind dissociation. Now there are too many psychiatry terms in it. Let me explain. Psychodynamic theory means the reason, psychic reason, psychiatric reason behind any of our problem. So psychodynamic theory of depression will say what conflict has happened so that this person has landed in depression. So dissociation is what we call conversion, or when people have pseudo seizures, when people get fainted and there is no cause found to the medicine people, they usually refer that patient to us. So it is the most accepted psychodynamic theory in even in today's time in modern psychiatry, that because of some conflict. हमारा पहला सवाल हमेशा पेशेंट से यही होता है कि ये होने के पहले कल परसों कुछ हुआ था क्या, something happened that disturbed you and all. Then defense mechanisms, Freud said, are your mind's bouncers, as in he introduced these three things. I hope what I'm writing is also visible. This was concept id, ego, and superego, and he said that id is a child at home, that जो भी मन में आएगा वो करेगा. Then ego is the mother, एंड सुपर ईगो इज द फादर, मतलब मॉरलिटी प्रिंसिपल के साथ जो चलेगा, तो फादर को घर चलाना है, तो वॉट एवर सुपर ईगो विल थिंक फ्रॉम द morality point of view. It will think from the primitive point of view, and ego is the mother of the house who has to maintain balance between id and super ego. जैसे घर में mother always tries to make balance between all. So he said that to make this balance, our urges and our we want to make one image of us in front of society, that is our super ego, those are our moral principles. The ego makes balance between them, and while making those balance, what happens is are the defense mechanisms, id ko rokne ke liye, super ego ko bhi control karne ke liye, and somehow to maintain balance. And the defense mechanisms he told, which are, he later this classification was given by different scientists, but he gave only five defense mechanism, and they are still used in psychiatry. So this is another one. Dream analysis, jury still out. There are a lot of psychiatrists who believe that dreams are reflection of our mind. We really have to do analysis, see what, so that we can find what is going on in the mind of person. Some believe that there is absolutely nothing. um, so jury still out on dream analysis. Don't ask me where I am about it. I'm still learning though. Then psychosexual development, the psychodynamics of OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, why it happens. It is explained. The most accepted theory even now, it's Freud's theory. And he suggested that obsessive compulsive disorder occurs because of arrest in the anal phase of psychosexual development. Transference, counter transference, I think everyone has heard these terms. So basically what transference means is patient or client developing a feeling towards therapist or a therapist, or say doctor. Counter transference is exactly ulta, from doctor to patient. But in Freud's time, he used to say that you use free association. What is free association? You There was famous Freud's couch. No, this couch was there, and you sit comfortably on the couch, and you say whatever comes in your mind, unfiltered. That's what Freud used to tell his patients, and he used to record their tapes, and through those he used to find out that you can even relate this from the movies and all. For example, in Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, he used to play this game that whatever comes to your mind, you have to say point blank, and then you can understand. Same, it is free association is whatever comes to your mind, you say, no filter, and this gives eventually rise to transference, counter transference. Because see, free association का एक धोखा भी है, एक फायदा भी है. You get patient's details, but you get to know too much about the patient, and there is risk of developing feelings from either side. But modern psychiatry says that counter transference and transference both can be used for better therapeutic alliance. First thing is you have to identify ways to deal around it. Freud used to say that transference या counter transference हो रहा है, psychoanalysis, that was his solution. But free association is still used, and transference and counter transference is still, they are still the terms used in psychiatry. So, and the last was psychoanalysis. So this was about Freud. Modern psychiatry says that Freud was more towards words than pills. That he used to say talking is the cure, because he said that everything is in that psychodynamics. एक बार वो आपके conflicts आपके सामने आ गए, एक बार वो आपने confront किए, then that anxiety will be gone because of those conflicts. फिर illness उसी की वजह से आया है, तो illness ही क्यों रहेगा? So that was his clear cut theory. So that was called as talking cure. Modern psychiatry says that both is there. As I said in the first slide also, that psychiatrists are divided amongst themselves. So there are some who believe that no, pharmacotherapy is must, and some believe that psychotherapy has to be first line, and practice guidelines are there. But everyone learns from their experience. What modern psychiatry says is both go hand in hand. So this was, let's say, from the first session or tribute. to Freud, this line is sometimes cigar is just a cigar, but probably not. This means that कभी कभी आपके सामने जो है वही सच है, as in the answer is very simple, it's in front of you, but the Freud inside you will always go in deeper. कभी कभी पेशेंट आपको बताता है इट्स वेरी सिंपल, मुझे ऐसे ऐसे हो रहा है एंड उसका रीजन ये है, बट यू ऑलवेज ट्राई टू गो इन द डिटेल्स, टू गो what would have happened in the past, in the childhood, that made that person, the patient, feel like this. So this is the Freud inside you, that the answer is in front of you, still you are going in the deeper reasons. Okay, so moving next, the journey of psychiatry. So the eras are divided from before psychiatry, as in it was not accepted as a medical science. It was a mystery, fear, and there was this common belief that whatever anyone would say anything against the social norms, that person used to be called as mental. You can see the this. I mean, this photo. It looks worse than a jail. This is how the people who showed mental problems were kept. The era too was the age of hope and mistakes. So this is where Freud came. Every era was age of hope and mistakes. It's not that only this was, but especially when they were all extremists. Extremists. So Freud said that this is the only reason. Nothing else can explain this. Then Mesmer gave the theory that there are magnets in magnetic fields inside, and if their alignment is changed, then psychiatric symptoms happen. They all came up with the theory. No one knew what sure was. So even untested theories and harmful treatments were done. You can see it from this photo where lobotomy is being done, where ECT is being done with patient awake. We'll see about it in detail later. Then era came where they said that medicine is everything, and they said basically first drug that came was chlorpromazine, then lithium and imipramine. So they shifted immediately from psychological reason to medical reason. Then they started with the medicines, and later era 4, as the advent of the um, imaging techniques happened, they started seeing and understanding and connecting, as in what are the networks in the brain that are hampered. How psychiatry later, eventually people started saying that no, we are neuropsychiatrists, not psychiatrists only, everything is intermingled. And the psychiatry today is the integrated evidence based and patient centered, which follows bio psycho social model. So psychiatry now believes, and science has proven, that not in any illness, never one explanation is enough. For example, we will take example of Alzheimer's disease. So biological model says that there are specific genes, there are specific brain areas which are involved, and that will make patients susceptible to Alzheimer's dementia. Okay, but the same patient having same genes might not develop. Why? Because that person might have some psychological support system. So his chance. So some life events, some previous emotions from previous thoughts, these also predispose to depression, to dementia. Then social, they say that in people who have lost their spouse, who are isolated from community for some reason, who have difficult relationships, they are also susceptible. So bio, psycho, and social. So we it's not always necessary that in each and every patient you will connect all three of them, but the modern psychiatry says that it's a bio psycho social model. So we can say that psychiatry has progressed from chains to compassion to cures to connections to recovery, and that doesn't mean that we don't show compassion or cure today, but that was the main focus of each of that era. And taking this, if we take the example, seeing this, if we take the example of schizophrenia, the famous psychiatric illness of um, of all, then we can see that in ancient it was considered that this was supernatural or spiritual explanation. Then Emil Kraepelin said that this is dementia precox. What is dementia precox? It is demented or degenerated brain, but it usually degenerates at the age of 70, 80. No, so schizophrenia was happening in the 20s, even before that, 20s, 30s. So he added the term precox. There is premature degeneration of the brain. Literally, sada hua dimag, aise he used to say it. So spiritual explanation to dementia, then obviously psychoanalytic theory, everything related to conflict, then family theories, social theories, then biological theories, and now multifactorial. So we can say that let go this had no scientific basis, but the brain degeneration, we started with schizophrenia from brain degeneration, and it's like we are back there only because ICD-11 इंटरनेशनल क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ डिसीजेस जो है, जो सारे डिसीजेस को क्लासिफाई करता है, इट क्लासिफाई स्किजोफ्रेनिया एज अ न्यूरो डेवलपमेंटल डिसऑर्डर. सो इट सेज दैट ब्रेन का डिजनरेशन नहीं हो रहा है, बट ब्रेन डेवलप होने में ही कुछ प्रॉब्लम हुआ है. सो वी स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम ब्रेन, वी आर बैक एट ब्रेन, बट नॉट ओनली ब्रेन एक्सप्लेन्स एवरीथिंग, lot of other things are there. I don't know how many are interested in mythology. I am very much, but I have knowledge of only Hindu mythology and Greek mythology, limited knowledge. I just added, there was a famous serial Mahabharata on Star Plus. So that tagline used to say कि जो यहाँ नहीं वो संसार में कहीं नहीं. I say that about psychiatry, that once you start liking subject, you will see it everywhere. Miss Shrinidhi sometimes says to me that ये किसी को भी देखते बोलते हैं तो personality है, तो ऐसा. Maybe you are in it for so much time that you see those things in the people that you want to. In the mythology, famous characters were one. I have added photos of all, but the famous is Hanuman complex. If anyone knows the story, Hanuman did not know about his capabilities. He had to be reminded about it by Jambuan, that he can fly, he has this much power. He did not know. This complex, the term was given by great psychiatrist Dr. N.N. Vig, Indian psychiatrist. He said that the same thing applies in the patient of depression, that जो पेशेंट को ठीक होने के लिए जो क्षमता, जो ताकत, जो विल पावर, जो भी लगती है, एवरीथिंग इज इन दैट पर्सन ओनली. You just have to be there to make that patient remind of that his or her capabilities. So once you remind, the patient will be able to get out of depression. So this is the one, it is still used now. So Hanuman complex, story of Narcissus. I think it's a, everyone knows that he was so self-obsessed. The photo of Arjuna, that he had panic attack. Yayati, he took youth from his son, and there is a theory that he was a sex addict. So Dhritarashtra, people say he was not, he was physically blind at first by sight, but later on, as he got power and as his sons got power, he got blinded by love. So there are Ashwatthama was impulsive. So there this, I just added the story. If we can discuss about this in detail for in a different session if we decide about it. So uh, moving on, this is a photo of 1765. He's a Philip Pinel. Actually, everyone who worked in psychiatry had some personal reason to uh, challenge psychiatry, to come in psychiatry. So in case of Philip Pinel, his friend was going through an illness. Later on, the theory said that he was probably going from depression because he committed suicide. He used to see that how his friend was kept away from the home. He was chained, and when his friend committed suicide, he went to many different mental asylums, and he saw that people were kept chained, people were kept like animals, and literally there was no reason. behind that. People just, and only reason people could say that they are harmful to us, and they are, so this is the photo when he dechained the patients. This is from the female mental asylum at Paris. So eventually, uh, he also realized that after dechaining, patients aggression reduced. जितना उनको बांध के जितना तक रखते थे उतना वो और छूटने की कोशिश करते थे, चिल्लाते थे, गुस्सा करते थे. नॉट ट्रू विथ ऑल द पेशेंट, बट ही सॉ दैट this chaining, without chaining also, some approach we can use. So implication today, I wanted specifically for that image, this photo, is that there is one Mental Health Care Act, MSCA, that has come in 2017. United Nations made India draft this act, and the reason behind it was no one was taking in the account the rights of mental ill patients. What are the rights of them? Right to have dignity, right to choose their own treatment, and on. Of course, there are patients who cannot take decision for themselves, but then they said the concept of nominated representative, which can be as simple as closest relative of the patient who will take decision of the patient. But till 2017 this was not there, and we are now in 2026. Patients are brought who are literally very badly chained. आई हैव सीन कि जैसे एनिमल्स को बांध के रखते हैं वैसे लिटरली हाथ पैर सब कुछ बांध के पेशेंट को लाते थे. दिस वाज जस्ट फ्यू मंथ्स बैक, एंड the psychiatrist in you sitting in that hospital ward can easily say कि आपको पता है क्या, ये गुनाह है, पेशेंट को ऐसे बांध नहीं सकते. Nowadays the mental health care act is there, but you have to understand what the patient's relatives are going through when they have a psychotic patient at home. कोई भी अपने खुद के रिलेटिव को कभी, खुद के फैमिली मेंबर को कभी इतने बुरी तरीके से बांध के नहीं रखेगा. तो we have to understand this gap, that why patients at home or patients at a different, you can see that different बेघर संस्था और जो destitutes के लिए जो different NGOs रहते हैं, there also at some places people are chained, people are kept tied up by ropes. So what is the reason they had to believe that? This is one reason, is lack of knowledge that this is wrong. But even though you tell them that it is wrong, will they uh, will they leave that patient free at home? No, because that patient is so much psychotic, so much aggressive. So we have to understand कि ये जो MHCA बोलता है, जो एकदम आइडियल कंडीशंस के बारे में बोलता है, देर आर स्पेसिफिक रूल्स, स्पेसिफिक प्रोटोकॉल्स. पेशेंट को कितने कम से कम समय में बांध के रखना चाहिए, वो भी द लास्ट रिजॉर्ट वुड बी देयर. पहले इंजेक्शन दे सकते हैं, ये कर सकते हैं, वो कर सकते हैं. एवरीथिंग इज देयर ऑन पेपर. वी ट्राई टू फॉलो इट इन हॉस्पिटल as much as possible to the most extent. We monitor the patient and everything, but there is this huge gap where till patient reaches us, ये possible नहीं होता है. And इसका example इंडिया का देने के लिए, the reason, the trigger behind this was this. The photo is blur. I think the photo blur है वही अच्छा है, because it's a very horrifying photo. This is from Irwadi, Tamil Nadu. दिस वॉज अ दरगाह, एज इन इसके जब मेंटल असाइलम्स वगैरह नहीं थे, द ओनली वे ऑफ कीपिंग साइकेट्रिक पेशेंट्स अवे फ्रॉम द सोसाइटी वाज टू कीप देम चेन्ड. सो there these people were tied to poles by chains, and in the early morning the fire broke out, and when the fire broke out no one of them could leave because they were chained to the poles, and 21 of the patients, total 21 patients jitne wahan pe the, they all died by burns. So this is the trigger which led to dechaining and deinstitutionalization in India. It did not happen overnight, but one thing is, this was not the way to keep them. Even if fire was not broke out, this was not the way to keep it. but there was no option at that time to people. People did not know. But this event was the one which led to de-chaining in India. So then coming to there was one famous anti-psychiatry movement that as I said, people used to say कि जो भी social norms के against कुछ भी बोलेगा, जिसका भी थोड़ा भी different opinion होगा, उसे psychiatric घोषित किया जाता था. So the man behind uh, kind of revolutionizing psychiatric classification, the reason behind this was Roshan. And he had one this thought that if I walked into a psychiatric hospital pretending to be mentally ill, would anyone realize I was actually normal? And this experiment, I would just tell about it in short. He was, he's the scientist. So he knew that what the symptoms patients tell while admitting in the what do they tell so that they get admitted. He knew that. So he formed a team of 8 members himself. Eighth person was himself. Total 8 people who were psychologists, psychiatrists, even himself. They started with specific symptom. They would go to a hospital, mental asylum, and they would say, I am hearing these voices in my head. Now, when patient says to you that he or she is hearing voices, see what happens in other say specialties ना, तुम्हें तुम्हारा patient बोलता है कि मेरा पेट दर्द हो रहा है, you know how that person is feeling because you yourself have uh, felt pain, you yourself have felt fever, you yourself have felt. But in psychiatry, when patient says ki I am hearing voices that others are not hearing, I am seeing some pictures that others are not seeing, you don't know what that person is going through, you can only imagine. So he just went to hospital and said that we are hearing specifically the complaints also. They had decided that I am hearing third. I am hearing the voices of clouds. Specifically, that only one symptoms they would tell. Then, obviously, the doctor examining there would admit them, and immediately after going to ward, they would say that my voices have disappeared. All 8 patients followed, huh? All 8 actors, we would say, they all followed that. But when they said that voices have disappeared and उनको उसके बाद voices कभी भी नहीं आए, they still were kept admitted for 6 to 7 months. All of them were, and all received diagnosis of schizophrenia, except one. One received diagnosis of manic depressive psychosis, which is now called as bipolar disorder. Then another finding was even the people who were admitted, when people were admitted there, they used to roam around. They used to roam around in the wards. They used to, the the nursing staff and the doctors would used to write that patient is pacing up here and there. Patient is restless, which would be considered if you would be in the home and you would not have given a history of hearing of voices. You would not be, if you are just walking, if someone was writing a diary, that person was told as compulsive, that this person is observed compulsive writing. So this gave the idea that do labels, that is diagnosis, become the permanent identities? Can psychiatric diagnosis really be trusted? And are hospitals dehumanizing patients? So using these 3 questions, he wrote this paper, Being Sane in Insane Places. And he actually wrote in this paper that other patients who were actually psychiatric patients, they used to say to this actor, you don't look like a mentally ill patient. You seem completely normal to me. But at the same time, the doctors there used to they used to write their normal behavior also as a symptoms. So this Roshan's obviously when he published that paper, people were enraged. If as a psychiatrist, I would be in that era, someone is challenging my profession, my knowledge, right? So even in today's time, if someone comes to me and says that I am hearing of voices, at max I can do is observe behavior and everything, but I would still label that patient as acute psychosis. So it is still relevant today because diagnostic labels influence perception. Even today, I see in MGMS casualty when any patient having psychiatric number on his paper, we don't write diagnosis. Huh? We don't write diagnosis. We don't write any symptom details. But to identify that patient's records in our OPD, we have given one psychiatry number. The moment they see that psychiatry number, the psychiatrist referrals come. Even though patient has come with the accident or something else, the psychiatry referrals come. So diagnostic labels do influence perception. Importance of longitudinal assessment. What is longitudinal assessment? There is one cross sectional assessment वर्सेस लॉन्जिट्यूडिनल. इसीलिए रोशन ने सबको बताया था कि जैसे ही तुम हॉस्पिटल के अंदर वार्ड के अंदर जाओगे यू विल डिनाई हियरिंग ऑफ वॉइसेस. सो ऑन लॉन्जिट्यूडिनल असेसमेंट that person is having normal mental status examinations, but because of that one cross sectional history, that there were history of hearing of voices, they were told to be having schizophrenia. Then, with the invent of time, after Roshan's experiment, DSM-3 came. DSM is Diagnostic and Statistical Manual. It is given by American Psychiatric Society. The man behind it was Robert Spitzer, and he is the one who helped classify the diseases and tried to put criteria for them. Still, even in today's time, the recent most version of ICD is 11th, and recent most version of DSM is 5. Still, there are disparities between those two, but still the operational diagnostic criteria exists. Then there is no more institutionalization, and as I said, Mental Health Care Act gave about the rights of person with mental illness. The photo of lobotomy we saw, I just added this because he received Nobel Prize, Egas Moniz, with this procedure, the procedure which made people emotionally blunted, apathetic, cognitively impaired, and permanently disabled. The procedure which made his patients robots, he received Nobel Prize for that procedure. So can we say that it was completely useless? We can't, because they helped us study entire thing about frontal lobe. People only knew that we have two hemispheres. There is dominant, there is non-dominant. We did not know function of each lobe. We came to know about what happens when that lobe gets damaged, what person behaves. Okay, this behavior happens with this lobe's damage. So that must be the job of this lobe. So eventually we got to know. I cannot say thanks to them because they made lot of people they operated on lot of people who literally became robots. He's Walter Freeman, who did ice pick lobotomies. The instrument he used to use was ice pick lobotomies, and it used to go through person's orbit, eye socket. So both of them had performed thousands of surgeries, thousands, and even received prize for their work before people finally understood what they had done. And then the next I wanted to talk about was Alcoholics Anonymous. There is this nice story of two friends, one surgeon, one orthopedic surgeon, and one stockbroker, that both of them were alcohol dependent, and they stayed together, lived together in the same house, and so to keep each other away from alcohol, to keep check on each other. Eventually, Dr. Bob was who was orthopedician. He went to one conference and consumed alcohol there. And when he came back, he was in alcohol withdrawal. So they understood that the only two of us is not enough. We need a support. We need a community of people. And this is how they started the group of Alcoholics Anonymous. And this lies on these three principles, that there is peer support, there is recovery orientation, and it is all inclusive. Even if patient is currently alcohol consuming and patient is in intoxicated state, still they are allowed in Alcoholics Anonymous meetings. Why? Because they get to hear from someone who was in their same shoes. They have suffered from same alcohol withdrawal, they have suffered from the same problems, they have also been having some reasons behind going to that. And this आपका कहना शायद इतना मायने नहीं रखेगा, बट अगर सामने एक ऐसा पेशेंट पर्सन है जिसने 15 साल दारू पी है एंड अभी वो उसको बोल रहा है कि मैंने छोड़ा है तो यू कैन ऑल्सो, तो दैट हेल्प्स. सो दिस इज still used in modern psychiatry. It is a part of self help group therapy. And इसके साथ रैशनल इमोटिव बिहेवियरल थेरेपी इज अ पार्ट ऑफ थेरेपी, जो इंडिया में इसके बारे में सबसे ज्यादा जिन्होंने काम किया, डॉक्टर आनंद नाडकर्णी सर. तो the basis of Alcoholics Anonymous is the first step is accepting that I am powerless over alcohol. They gave the blame from person to alcohol. आप कभी भी देखोगे अल्कोहल का पेशेंट आता है, they hit their patients. Nowadays addiction is not the term used, dependence they use. So these are the some of the terms that I have heard psychiatrists say, let alone the other specialist or a layman. He will never improve. He needs to be punished. He is defective material. There is hardware problem. All alcoholics are PDs. PDs is personality disorder. He is beyond all counseling. They have put themselves down the drain. What disease? This is no disease. So they proved all this wrong. It's like blame the alcohol. Do not blame. Do not blame that person. So that is why this is the prayer they used to say, that God grant me the serenity to accept things that I cannot change, and give me the courage to the things that I can. And they used to, the first was that they were Christians, so they started from saying that you accept to the Jesus about all the harms you have made to people who while drinking alcohol. And आनंद नाडकर्णी सर, he immediately understood कि हमारे पेशेंट रिलेट नहीं कर पाएंगे. Maximum patients were non-Christian. So these are the two translated versions of A's prayer. And I learned this from him when I attended his workshop on how to manage addiction in alcohol patients. So these two, when immediately, if you're Marathi, if you're Hindi, immediately when you read these two, it hits you that okay, the things which are not in my control, I am giving someone the power to change me, to treat me. And this is where you accept alcohol as medical disease, as brain's disease, and you go forward with the treatment. Shri, will you give me idea about the time? Because uh, I have some material left, and maybe we have Advait sir talking on ECT also. If we could have interaction on this much, and then can cover, plan the next sessions for this. Let me know.
Thank you so much. Those are topics that I discussed that was really interesting and I think very important before we go into the. I will request the speaker to take this question first by Kapil, who says that please elaborate psychosexual development theory. So, would you able to take the question first before we move ahead?
यस, ओके. मुझे पता था वो एकदम डिफिकल्ट वर्ड मैंने से बीच में डालने थे. आवाज आ रही है ना? ओके, सो एवरीथिंग अबाउट फ्रॉइड्स थियरी वाज अबाउट हाउ यू डिराइव प्लेजर. सो फ्रॉइड यूज्ड टू से दैट there are specific organs through which you develop pleasure in that age. And if you won't get pleasure, you won't get that pleasure in that time, you will get arrested in that stage of development and you will not move further. And if you, and there is one last phase, latency. So eventually he said that when the development is arrested, then you develop illnesses. So ये एकदम छोटा बच्चा है, less than 2 years, as in उस जिसका breast feeding चल रहा है, तो that child knows that pleasure only gets through mouth. Then the next phase of toilet training happens. The patient gets, the child gets pleasure through that. Then there is a phallic stage. Then there is genital stage. So Freud said, for example, we would take example of oral phase. If the child is not properly breastfed, if the child is not given that warmth that needs from mother or caregiver at that time, the child will get arrested in that oral phase and will later develop addiction, especially those addictions, especially alcohol, nicotine, these addictions. In anal phase, there is this toilet training is the crucial event happening. So if the parents become too harsh about this uh, toilet training, then that child in adulthood can develop OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. If the parent completely give up on the child, जो इसको करना है करने दो, then that child can have criminal like behavior later, जिसे psychiatric diagnosis में conduct disorder या antisocial personality disorder बोलते हैं. Similarly, each of its stages have its pathologies. The most accepted currently is of obsessive compulsive disorder. Questions? I don't see any more questions in the chat. So, um, Advait sir, would you like to then share about history of ECT? Is he on? Maybe he has not joined.
I request Janvi to continue with her presentation before
Okay, we will go for.
sir could join.
I think we will keep a separate session for, because this is the experiments which were actually unethical and got uh, but they taught us a lot. This is a bit long to cover, so I think we will cover this in next. This is interesting. These two tests, the photos or these you might have seen in stories or movies or web series while applying that simple tests that you gave these cards, you show these cards to people and you see how they interpret. What what came to the mind of Rorschach that he developed this test? So he himself was fascinated very much by ink blots since his childhood. And the main question that we show same image, same ink blot to the different people, and they see completely different things in the same image. How is that possible? Why? So we go back to Freud. Freud said that people project their unconscious conflicts, unacceptable wishes, and fears to someone else when they are given some ambiguous stimulus. As in उसमें कुछ भी specific नहीं लिखा है. It's just a design. But the same design will be interpreted differently by me, differently by someone else. So we ask the person to interpret a design, or we give them an image and we tell them to tell a story about it, and just from that you deduce some pathology, some psychiatric problem in that. So this is typically helpful when you have a child who has been showing sudden behavioral change, not showing up in school, suddenly showing tantrums, and the obviously child also doesn't know how to express, and there might be some history that we don't know. So in that case, um, one of my senior psychiatrist at MJMS Sevagram, Dr. Behere sir, he worked a lot in child sexual abuse. So he used to say that any victim who would be brought to him, he would just give a blank paper and colorful pens to that child, and would just give time and see what child draws, or shows them the different images to draw, tell them to draw their interpretation of what is family, what is community. So this is especially helpful when patient is not talking to you. There are other ways of getting the idea of what is going in mind. Probably what patient will tell, उसमें से जो आंसर्स तुम्हें मिलेंगे शायद पेशेंट को भी पता नहीं होगा, बट while interpreting that story it comes. So this test is the Rorschach's ink blot test, जिसमें if you draw middle line, they are bilaterally symmetrical ink blots. ये हम जब स्कूल में थे और पेंटिंग करते थे तब याद होगा, हम थ्रेड्स से ऐसे डिजाइन करते थे. Then this is a thematic apperception test, जिसमें we show these black and white images and we tell what do you see in that. See this image and tell me a story about it. So when we show a picture to people, they construct stories around it, which reveals about them themselves a lot, about patient a lot. So the two fascinating tests which are still used in modern psychiatry. See, when patient is not talking to you, when patient is not expressing, the how much advent of the neuroimaging goes, you cannot put that person in MRI and be sure that you will find something in the brain. Maybe you will, but maybe you will not. So these are just the ways which modern psychiatry still accepts are the ways of understanding conflicts in people. Yes, again itself is a broad topic, but recently we celebrated some important days. The recent most was हम सब लोगों ने pledge लिया था International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. So behind deciding each of these days, there is a story. For example, International Day of Happiness. One day, Bhutan suddenly declared that our happiness index is the highest amongst all countries. So then United Nations decided, okay, let's keep this as International Day of Happiness. Vincent van Gogh, if I start talking about him, then day might be over. We will have different session on him. He himself, no one while he was alive, no one tried to cure him. No one even understood what he had gone through. But now the World Bipolar Day is named after him. So it was said that during his depressive phase, he used to sit for hours, for days, for months in his room, on his bed, not leaving the bed at all. And in his mania phase, he used to draw those paintings. But there is the most popular theory says that the artist in him, the this was the resilience that even with that illness, he did all those paintings. Then World Schizophrenia Awareness Day. This is the birthday of psychoanalyst Carl Jung. So as I said, these are different days. Um, we can go in detail about that in different session. Culture and psychiatry are two. It's like you cannot differentiate them even after trying. So culture and psychiatry are very much intermingled in between. Why I would like to tell you that, for example, patient has come to you saying NASA has implanted a chip in my brain. Different people came in different era giving reason why that boy is thinking so. But no one answer will give you complete explanation. The dopamine hypothesis, मतलब आपका ब्रेन में हुआ केमिकल लोचा, एकदम सिंपल वर्ड्स में अपन हम अगर पेशेंट्स को बोलते हैं इट इज केमिकल लोचा, दैट एक्सप्लेन व्हाई द डिल्यूजन, व्हाई दिस बिलीफ व्हिच इज फेक, व्हिच अदर पीपल डोंट हैव. Okay, but psychology explains why that specific delusion might have had feelings of powerlessness, might have had feelings of some repressed feelings of I am chosen for something. So why delusion? It's okay, but why that specific delusion? That psychology will explain you. Dopamine will explain you delusion, that there is a delusion. Culture explains why that content, because NASA is a known, powerful, credible organization in his cultural world. शायद इंडिया का कोई इसरो बोले, व्हाई नॉट एलियंस, व्हाई नॉट जस्ट नेबर्स. मेरे मैक्सिमम पेशेंट्स तो मेरे नेबर्स बोलते हैं. सो कल्चर एक्सप्लेन्स द कंटेंट ऑफ द डिलीजन. ट्रॉमा एक्सप्लेन्स व्हाई नाउ. क्योंकि न्यूरो डेवलपमेंटल थियरी क्या बोलता है कि जब वो वूम्ब में था अपने मम्मी के, तभी तो ब्रेन के डेवलपमेंट में कोई इशू हुआ था। तो at the age of 17, why is he developing this delusion? This explains recent stress, humiliation, or threat. So, trauma. And genetic explains why him. Trauma ऐसे घर के और 4-5 लोगों को हुआ होगा, but why that specific person? So, this is how beautifully we can tell. We will go into aspects of cultural psychiatry in detail, but as simple example as this, same you can take about hallucination. Someone is hearing voices of uh, God telling him to do something. Specific patients hear Krishna's voices. Specific patients would hear Jesus' voices. So why those voices specifically? In that case also, dopamine will explain that why hallucinations. Psychology will explain why that specific hallucination. Culture will explain which God's voices he is hearing. Trauma will explain why now, and genetics will explain why him. So I think this one image can make you fall in love with psychiatry. So delusion is not just a false belief; it's a message from brain, but it is shaped by that person's life, as in psychology, culture, and trauma. And as psychiatry, first it progress from why illness comes, but now we are having psychiatrists having what cures it. And obviously, I told you there is one group of psychiatrists that entirely believe that it is medicines. One group believes that no, psychotherapy is also equally important. But we have to know that what has therapist asked the patient over time. Freud used to ask, "What were you? How was your childhood like?" आपके चाइल्डहुड में आपके जो भी फीलिंग्स रहते थे, अर्जेस रहते थे, वो मुझे बताओ। वो उसको अभी के साथ लिंक करेगा। देन केम बिहेवियरल थेरेपी। उसमें ये देखा कि ओके, सिर्फ चाइल्डहुड कॉन्फ्लिक्ट नहीं, अभी के हमारे बिहेवियर के कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस के ऊपर भी अ, हमारा रिकवरी ये होता है, अफेक्ट होता है। देन द फोकस केम ऑन अनकंडीशनल पॉजिटिव रिकॉर्ड। इट इज वेरी मच क्लोज टू free association, but free association में Freud used to sit and listen endlessly. The this was by Carl Rogers. He was also a psychiatrist. He said that in between you tell patient, I understand. This must be very difficult for you, no? So this is unconditional positive regard, empathy. This helps patient know that not only the person is listening to me, he is empathetic also towards me. So therapist being empathetic towards and showing that empathy towards patient. Then the focus came to this is cognitive behavioral therapy. Aaron Beck. कि हमारे कुछ बिलीव्स में ही प्रॉब्लम है एंड हमारे कुछ थॉट्स ही प्रॉब्लमेटिक है, उसकी वजह से हमारा बिहेवियरल चेंज हो रहा है। तो वो थॉट्स वो पेशेंट को समझा दो, उसके ऊपर वो काम करना चालू हो जाएगा, तो ये प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाएगा। वर्क ऑन दिस। एंड देन केम बाय पेशेंट हिमसेल्फ। अगर पेशेंट को हमने हॉस्पिटल में ठीक कर दिया, हमारे यहाँ पे पेशेंट आने के बाद उसको ठीक लगता है, पेशेंट घर में जाने के बाद वापस वही कम्युनिटी में वही फैमिली में रहेगा, वही रिलेशनशिप प्रॉब्लम्स आएंगे, तो इन्वॉल्व देम आल्सो इन द ट्रीटमेंट। फैमिली थेरेपी, relationship, who else is affected, how we can help them. And now the new therapies are coming where they are using mindfulness, focused attention, acceptance therapy, dialectical behavioral therapies since before only, but they have started including mindfulness in each and every therapy. So although psychiatrists are divided, nowadays therapy includes all of this. In the same patient, you can find childhood conflicts. Same patients, you can find what increases that person's behavior, what decreases. You can be empathetic at the same time. You can focus on the belief system. You can simultaneously, after 4-5 sessions, start calling their family and start working with them. And while doing all those, you can teach patient mindfulness techniques and other. So this is the inclusivity of psychiatry, not only in the disease, not only in the psychopathology of the disease, but in the treatment of that disease also. So I guess we have left the experiments of psychology, which I'm I think I will cover in the next sessions because I've already bombarded you with lot of information. This was my final slide that psychiatry has never really changed its patient. Patient has always been the same. It has changed the question it asks to that patient. They first used to ask which demon, then they start which part of brain, then said which childhood conflict, then said which neurotransmitter. Most of the time answer was dopamine or serotonin, and now they have started that all are implicated in all diseases. This is the verdict now. All neurotransmitters are involved in all illness. And the recent most is how genes plus brain development plus psychology plus trauma plus family plus culture plus society together interact in this unique individual.
थैंक यू सो मच। जानवी के लिए बाकी लोगों के भी कुछ सवाल हो सकते हैं, बट मैं यहाँ पे इस पॉइंट पे क्वेश्चन पूछना चाहता हूँ। आई अंडरस्टूड द फैक्ट, the some fact that I could understand from this presentation was how the psychiatry has evolved from a subject which focused on the neurological perspective, and now it is trying to involve the society and the cultural aspects as well. So, as we all know that Janvi is working in Sevagram MGMS, which happens to be a predominantly rural place. So my question to her would be that most of us we are thinking that कि हाँ, जो साइकेट्री के इलनेसेस होते हैं, दे आर मोर फोकस्ड इन द अर्बन एरियाज। आई एम सॉरी, माय आई एम ऑडिबल नाउ? ओके।
Yes, yes, audible.
थैंक यू। सो काफी बार हमें एक ऐसा डाउट रहता है कि इज द साइकेट्रिक इलनेसेस आर मोर फोकस्ड ओनली इन द अर्बन एरियाज, बिकॉज दैट इज व्हाट वी हियर फ्रॉम आवर पीयर्स और द maybe the previous generation people who are not completely aware about the topic. They keep on asking us कि अरे ऐसा कैसे डिप्रेशन हो जाता है, इज इट बिकॉज दैट यू आर नॉट स्ट्रांग इनफ? अरे गांव में तो डिप्रेशन होता ही नहीं होगा, फिर गांव में साइकेट्रिक इलनेसेस का क्या काम है? Now, Janvi, you are working in a rural hospital for a long time, a medical college, which is situated in Sevagram. So, what do you feel about the specific psychiatric illnesses that you find in the rural areas? And do you feel that they are quite different in the presentation to which we see in the literature, or say that they differ in the presentation to what the experts in the Western countries have told? And what challenges do you face when you try to manage these patients? And because as you have mentioned about the cultural aspects, the society aspects, and the society in a rural area which differs from place to place, so what challenges you feel that you face while treating this patient?
Okay, so this MGMS gives this nice opportunity that it attracts patients not only from Maharashtra but from the two neighboring states also, mainly from Chhattisgarh and Telangana. So we get patients mainly from varied languages also. And when I was in first year, the specific themes used to amaze me that uh, ये क्या बोल रहे हैं, ये तो एकदम ही पॉसिबल नहीं है करके. एंड देन देयर रिलेटिव्स वुड से कि हमारे यहाँ पे तो ये सब चीजों को मानते हैं. एंड हम एकदम ऐसे टेक्स्ट बुक वगैरह देख के स्टार्टिंग स्टार्टिंग में एकदम ये ऐसे का ऐसे ही होना चाहिए, तो टेक्स्ट बुक यूज टू से फॉल्स, फिक्स्ड, फॉर्म, अनशेकेबल बिलीफ नॉट कीपिंग विद द कल्चरल कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ दैट पर्सन. तो हमारा वो लास्ट वाला हमेशा रह जाता था कि वो सेटिस्फाई नहीं हो रहा है डेफिनेशन में. कल्चरल कॉन्टेक्स्ट में तो ये इनके बैठता है, द ब्लैक मैजिक इज देयर, अदर थिंग्स आर देयर. देन वी यूज टू गो टू द एक्सटेंट ऑफ एक्सप्लेनेशन दैट पर्सन गिव्स फॉर द बिलीफ. एंड देन फिर हम then we used to go forward with it. And one of my famous experiences, favorite experiences in my ward is मैं जब भी मेरे जूनियर्स को बताने जाती थी नहीं नहीं स्किजोफ्रेनिया नहीं है, ये थोड़ा बाइपोलर लग रहा है या ऐसे हो लग रहा है, देयर फेमस फेवरेट रिस्पॉन्स होते क्या फर्क पड़ता है मैम, हम मूड स्टेबलाइजर और एंटीसाइकोटिक्स ही देने वाले. एंड दैट इज ट्रू दैट मेनली व्हेन पेशेंट हमारे यहाँ पे ऐसे कंडीशन में लाया जाता है कि उनका काउंसलिंग और ये सब के वो अभी तो पॉसिबल नहीं है काउंसलिंग एंड ये सब। तो वी यूज टू स्टार्ट देम ऑन मेडिकेशंस। थोड़े वो बेटर हो जाएंगे, थोड़ा हमारे बात सुनने के इसमें आएंगे, तो धीरे धीरे उनके बिलीफ्स को चैलेंज करने का ट्राई करो। और मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स ऐसे हो जाता था कि वो वर्कलोड में जब वो पेशेंट थोड़ा चैलेंज करने के इसमें आ गया है, हमारे सर बोलते थे इसको अभी तुम ओपीडी में चैलेंज करो, अभी डिस्चार्ज कर दो। सो द मेन चैलेंज आई फेस्ड was the limitation of psychiatrist while working in mental health, because um, I don't know how many are familiar with this revolving door phenomenon, कि एक मॉल के यहाँ पे कैसे रिवॉल्विंग डोर रहता है, तो पेशेंट ऐसे बाहर जाता है, बाहर जाने के बाद वापस अंदर आता है, आता है तुम पेशेंट को ट्रीटमेंट देते हो, तभी के टाइम पे घर पे जाता है, सेम प्रॉब्लम्स फेस करता है, सेम आता है। तो दिस रिवॉल्विंग डोर फिनोमिनन आई लिटरली फेल्ट। सेकंड वॉज एंड हाँ ऑब्वियसली अभी बाद में वो मैनेज करना मैं सीख गई, बट स्टार्टिंग में वो एकदम ऐसे पेन होता था कि अरे यार, डिप्रेशन की पेशेंट जिसको सुसाइडल थॉट्स थे, ठीक करके भेजा था, एक एक्सटेंट तक हो गई थी, वापस आ गई, वापस सुसाइड अटेम्प्ट करके आ गई, बहुत बुरा लगता था। बट धीरे धीरे मैं वो मैनेज करना सीखी। सेकंड वाज दैट रिलेटिव्स हिटिंग पेशेंट्स, एंड I used to get very angry at start. I used to scold the relatives. I used to say मेरे वार्ड में कभी तुम इसको मारते हुए देखोगे तो मैं पुलिस केस कर दूंगी, ये कर दूंगी। बट it what hit me later was I used to be angrier than the patient, क्योंकि पेशेंट को ये नॉर्मल लगता है। पेशेंट को ऐसे लगता है कि मैंने ही कुछ गलत किया है जिसकी वजह से मुझे मारा जा रहा है, एंड आई डिजर्व इट। सो लॉट ऑफ माय पेशेंट्स ब्लेम देमसेल्व्स। इफ यू गो इन द सिटी, मोर ऑफ ऐसा है कि किसी भी साइकेट्रिक प्रॉब्लम के लिए लोग दूसरों को ब्लेम करते हैं। मैं यहाँ पे रूरल एरियाज के, ट्राइबल एरियाज के मोस्ट ऑफ द पेशेंट्स, दे हैव दिस फीलिंग दैट मैंने ही कुछ किया होगा। देन इट कैन बी अबाउट द सुपरनेचुरल पावर्स, इट कैन बी अबाउट डिमंस, शाप के बारे में हो सकता है, इट कैन बी अबाउट एनीथिंग, बट मैंने ही कुछ किया होगा, उसकी वजह से ऐसे हो रहा है। तो एक तो है कि उसको ये बता दो कि ये ब्रेन की बीमारी है और उसको ठीक करना है हमें, और दूसरा है कि उसको वो गिल्ट से बाहर निकालो। ये दो चीजें, मतलब देर एक खुद को इतना ब्लेम करना भी मुझे ऐसे लगता है ये वायलेंस टुवर्ड्स सेल्फ ही है। और उसको फैमिली का भी वायलेंस झेलना पड़ रहा है। एंड मेनली दिस यूज टू हैपन विद फीमेल पेशेंट्स। सो दीज आर द मेन टू आई रिमेम्बर। थेरोटिकल नॉलेज का और प्रैक्टिकल नॉलेज में बहुत ज्यादा खुद को मॉडिफाई करना पड़ा। एंड बहुत ज्यादा, मतलब इवन एज मच ब्लंटली आई कैन से आई वांट टू आई स्टार्टेड डिस्टेंसिंग माई सेल्फ, इमोशनली डिस्टेंसिंग माई सेल्फ फ्रॉम द पेशेंट्स। तो पेशेंट भी रोता था, मैं भी रोती थी। एंड ऐसे then I thought that this much getting affected is not right. So that was a challenge, distancing myself from uh, patients for my own health without guilt. And second was that seeing violence. Even I just as I said that 2 3 months back, only one patient was brought to us chained, and very angrily I went to my consultant saying, "Sir, ये क्या है?" and everything. So it's like कैसे हैंडल करेंगे वो ये पेशेंट को घर पे? तुम्हारा एक्ट पेपर पे जो भी बोलता है, जो जो भी कहता है, कैसे हैंडल करेंगे दैट? आई वाज लाइक, ये मुझे खुद से कैसे नहीं हिट हुआ लाइक दैट।
There is one question in the chat. Uh, Mike is asking, don't you think that is also delusion? Seema, could you
विच
clarify
हाँ,
what delusion do you talking about?
ओ नो नो नो, नो दैट इज नॉट डिल्यूजन। But see, for delusion, there are some specific things. But guilt by the patient is more of a patient का खुद को blame का। It is as simple as अगर कोई पेशेंट डायबिटिक कीटोएसिडोसिस में तुम्हारे पास एडमिट हुआ है और उसके बाद वो ठीक होने के बाद वो बोलता है कि नहीं नहीं मैंने ही गोलियां स्किप की थी उसकी वजह से, सेम इट इज एट अ पर्सन फील्स। बस ऐसा है कि इसमें वो बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्स होता है। वी हैव टू मेक पेशेंट गिल्ट फ्री। इट्स एक्चुअली pretty complicated process, क्योंकि एज अ डॉक्टर वी ऑल्सो नो कि उसके खुद के जीन्स, उसकी खुद की साइकोलॉजी इस सब के लिए कारणीभूत है, बट ही or she never had the chance to change it. So more of the times we do not tell that patient to be guilt free. Rather, we try to give as much as the rational reason for this illness as we can. And my most famous example is लोग कैसे ऐसे छाती ठोक के बोलते हैं, हाँ मुझे डायबिटीज भी है, बीपी भी है, कोलेस्ट्रॉल भी है, इतने इतने गोलियां खाते हो। तो वैसे तुम बोलो कि मेरा केमिकल लोचा है थोड़ा सा, या गोली में खाता हूँ हमेशा करके। उतना इजी होता नहीं है। सी फॉर योर सेल्फ ऑल्सो इट इज नॉट दैट इजी। अगर तुम्हें कहीं खाना कभी खाना पड़े तो, इवन एंटी एज सिंपल एज एंटी एंजाइटी पिल्स, बट वी ट्राई टू टेल पेशेंट टू एक्सेप्ट द इलनेस एंड रादर अभी सॉल्यूशन फोकस में जाओ, डोंट गो इन द प्रॉब्लम। अभी ये तो हो गया, नाउ वी लेट्स फोकस ऑन द क्योर, लेट्स फोकस ऑन द ट्रीटमेंट। Advait sir has joined. He was saying that although he could not join previously, he just wanted to say something. The history of ECT we will cover in the upcoming sessions. I don't know for how much session you were not there, Advait sir.
Oh, hi everyone.
Oh, sorry, Advait sir, sorry. Please go ahead, sir. Sorry. There was a raise of hand by Nidin. Nidin, can you unmute and ask?
Yes, thank you, Janvi, for this wonderful learning psychiatric series. It was quite, I joined in between and I missed some part of it, but it's an amazing experience listening all these stories. So you mentioned about this revolving door phenomenon, and you said initially it was very difficult, and the patients were coming continuously after getting admitted and discharged, and so how did you manage that these patients who were coming, returning continuously for admission after discharge? How did you manage so that they get proper treatment and they were managed properly after they were discharged and they do not come back to the IPD?
Very frankly speaking, I'm still managing it, not very good at it though. But it's a team effort, more of a. So we more of a try to tell, involve family and the support circle of the patient from early on. Before that discharge only we tell that ये करोगे तो patient वापस आएगा। Yeah, and we try to identify the specific triggers in them. For example, especially when alcohol patients come back, most of them have had started drinking secondary to some problem, secondary to some issues, some especially financial issues. And जब वो घर जाएंगे तो वो issue अपने आप solve नहीं होने वाला है, rather उनको ही करना है। उनके peers consume करते हैं, उनके बाकी के co-workers consume करते हैं। Most of them work as laborer on daily wages, so उनका हमेशा कुछ fixed income भी नहीं होता है। ये सब चीजें हम कितना भी इमेजिन कर सकते हैं, वी कैन नॉट रिलेट इट। मतलब आई कुड नॉट, आई शुडंट से वी, आई कुड नॉट रिलेट इट एट ऑल। एंड एट स्टार्ट आई यूज्ड टू गेट एंग्री बिकॉज मेरे मन में वो ऐसे रहता था कि इतना डिटॉक्स, डी एडिक्शन के दो स्टेप्स रहते हैं ना, एक डिटॉक्स एक डी एडिक्शन। तो पहले वो डिटॉक्स में ही 7-10 दिन जाते हैं पेशेंट को विड्रॉल में से बाहर निकालने के लिए, एंड उसके बाद सब कुछ समझाने के बाद भी वो कंज्यूम करता है ऐसे ही। तो ऐसे लगता था कि ओ माय गॉड, माय दिस हैज गॉन into the drain, my treatment has gone into the drain. But this is not like that, it's not that simple, there are multiple factors to it. So I myself first accepted that okay, there are many limitations to this. Then as I said, we started involving family early on. Then one thing that helps is जो पास में रहने वाले पेशेंट है उनको हम frequent follow-ups देते थे। ऐसे बोलते थे कि आप नहीं मिलेंगे तो हमको भी बुरा लगेगा, हमें भी बीच बीच में याद आते हैं, 7-7 दिन के बाद फॉलोअप के लिए आओ, 15-15 दिन के बाद फॉलोअप के लिए आओ। एक बार पेशेंट ठीक पूरा ही हमें पता चल जाए कि ठीक है, देन वी वुड गिव 1 महीने के मेडिकेशन, 2 महीने के मेडिकेशन। बट व्हाट हेल्प्स स्पेशली इन अल्कोहल पेशेंट्स, जिनमें रिवॉल्विंग डोर फेनोमेनन सबसे ज्यादा दिखता है, इज दैट वो कंज्यूम करता है अगर डिस्चार्ज के 5वें दिन बाद, तो 7th डे को आपके पास आएगा तो बेटर रहेगा, यू कैच अर्ली। अगर तुमने ऑलरेडी 1 महीने के मेडिकेशंस दे दिए हैं तो वो जब तक आपके पास वापस आएगा तो ऑलरेडी ऐसा है कि लास्ट के 20 डेज कंज्यूम कर रहा है। तो यू कैन अर्ली ऑन फाइंड द ट्रिगर, कैन स्टार्ट, इफ नीडेड कैन स्टार्ट डिटॉक्स फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल। कैन, ये तो हमें बहुत मुश्किल जाता है, मतलब हमारे मुंह से भी निकल जाता है मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स कि ये क्या है, फिर ट्रीटमेंट ही क्यों कराया, ऐसे टाइप में। We also get judgy towards patients, but then the process of starting the problem at least starts, the process that patient को ये एहसास दिलाना कि 5 दिन तो कंट्रोल किया ना, 6ठे दिन को स्लिप हुआ, तो वो 5 डेज क्या किया, वो और वापस ट्राई करते हैं। ये तो स्पेसिफिकली एडिक्शन के पेशेंट्स में वो प्रॉब्लम होता था। आई एम स्टिल वर्किंग ऑन इट, ऐसे नहीं कि, बट एज अ टीम वी आर ट्राइंग टू मैनेज। आई डोंट नो इफ दैट इज satisfactory answer, but
Yes, yes, that is an thank you for the answer. It's like there's not one answer. I feel that, and you're tackling it in different uh, like different ways. So amazing, good work.
Advait sir, would you be able to unmute and share your experience, sir? Thank you so much.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
yes.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Yeah. So good to see so many people interested in psychiatry and so many people having joined in. And it was very nice to hear Jannavi's experiences, her way of teaching. I know Jannavi since UG days, and I know she's quite good at what she does. But in a capacity of psychiatrist, I'm probably hearing her for the first time, and it was very refreshing to hear that. I apologize that due to bad weather in Mumbai, I got stuck and could not join in time for my session. I think I'm very eager to take the session, but probably if Janvi permits, we will reschedule it. Apologies to
We
everyone.
will have only one session for ECT, sir. No problem. I
Okay,
mean, one
okay.
entire session only for ECT.
Okay.
But it's
Fine,
that,
fine.
no problem.
Sure. Regarding sir's doubt about revolving door phenomenon, I think Jahnavi covered most of it. बहुत सारा जानवी ने ऑलरेडी कवर कर दिया, लेकिन मैं सिर्फ इतना बोलना चाहूंगा कि बहुत बार रिवॉल्विंग डोर फिनोमेनन ये सारे डॉक्टर्स को किसी ना किसी मैटर में दिखता है। कितने पेशेंट्स ऐसे रहते हैं कि आप है ना डायबिटीज का पूरा टेस्ट कराएंगे, सारा चीज ये कराएंगे, उनका ब्लड शुगर लेवल रेगुलराइज कराएंगे, बट स्टिल है ना वो जब आएंगे तब कीटोएसिडोसिस में ही आएंगे। ऐसे एक्सपीरियंसेस भी आपको बहुत आए होंगे। तो उसको हैंडल करने का स्ट्रेटेजी है कि कभी भी हमें क्या बोलते हैं उसको पॉजिटिव रिगार्ड रखना है। उनके एक्सपीरियंसेस या उनका लाइफ हम नहीं जीते तो हमारे लिमिटेशन समझने हैं। हमारा एकेडमिक बैकग्राउंड है, हमारा एकेडमिक ये रहता है कि इट इज लॉजिकल फॉर अस, मतलब हमें बहुत ऑब्वियस चीज लगता है कि अगर प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है तो दवाई लेने के लिए दवाई लेना चाहिए, बट वो उतना ऑब्वियस उनके लिए शायद ना हो। एंड रिवॉल्विंग डोर को हैंडल करने के लिए या फिर फ्रस्ट्रेशन ना डेवलप हो उसमें, तो उसको एक सर्विस की तरह सोचिए। एटलीस्ट वी अभी बहुत सारे ऐसे पेशेंट आए जिनके ना ओवर द पास्ट इसमें 20-30 एडमिशन्स भी हो चुके हैं। तो बेसिकली हम भी ऐसे ही मतलब फ्रस्ट्रेशन आता है, लेकिन मेरे एक प्रोफेसर ने बोला था कि उसको सोचने का ऐसा भी तरीका है कि 20 to 30 times you got an opportunity to help. Never stop sincere efforts and sincere extend तो तुम्हें पॉजिटिव रिगार्ड्स एक्सटेंड करना है patient के लिए।
Sir, we are not able to hear you, sir.
हेलो
No.
Yes,
हेलो
sir. Now audible,
Yes,
sir.
yes.
कहाँ तक ऑडिबल था? क्या हो रहा है मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा एक्चुअली। इट्स ओके।
20 to 30 times you got the opportunity to help that patient, extend the
हाँ, so
positivity in
20 to
them.
32 times you got the opportunity to extend like help the patient and never stop sincere efforts कि मतलब हमें हमारा जो sincere efforts है पेशेंट हमारे पास या फिर इतना बुरे हालत में ना आए या उनका लाइफ बेटर हो जाए, ये हमारे एफर्ट्स हमेशा रहने चाहिए। बट हमें हमारा लिमिटेशंस भी कहीं ना कहीं एक्सेप्ट करना पड़ेगा। एंड या दैट इज रिवॉल्विंग डोर के बारे में।
Thank you so much, Jannavi. Thank you so much, Advait sir. And thank you all for your patient listening. This was our first session on Mindscapes, understanding psychiatry, past, present, and practice. And I understand that there is quite a lot of content left in regarding this session itself, which we will discuss in the groups as well. Whether we would like to continue with the same topic or we take up something else. Meanwhile, you can refer to different psychiatry books out of your interest, or if you are a student of psychiatry, then definitely go through all the theory books and whatever doubts you come across, please feel free to share in the group or directly contact Janvi. We will be really happy to help. Thank you for your patient listening, and we were really happy with the response. And we have already recorded this video, so we will be uploading it on YouTube and sharing the YouTube link as well. Please inform your friends, family, whosoever interest in these lessons. They can be able to join the session from the next week onwards. Thank you so much, everyone. Good night.
Thank you, Janvi and Srinidhi. Have a wonderful night.